Well, you know, boxing does what it do. You know, it's of course you're being lubed up for Andre Ward Chavez Jr. fight. You know, we've already been talking about this, but everybody's telling me, man, we got to give Andre Ward a break. You know, just give him a break. I'm like, a break? A break? I mean, he's one of the top fighters in the sport of today. You know, that's unarguably a fact. Andre Ward is one of the top fighters in the world today. And I'm saying to myself, why are we even questioning the fact of his skills? Because we shouldn't. For those who saying he's boring, I don't call Andre Ward boring, because to me, he's not boring. But I want to see him in fights that I'm interested in. Not fights to give Andre Ward a break. Now, Andre Ward was supposed to face Andre Dirrell. You remember that one, right? In the boxing media, everybody was all in love with that fight. And, you know, and many didn't know is that Ward and Dirrell were best friends. They grew up in the amateurs. They did not want to fight each other, even though they were in this tournament. They turned around and decided that they were going to try to extort Showtime into paying them more money because this fight was bigger than what everybody anticipated in the world wanted to see it. Showtime told them to look into their contracts, threatened to sue them, and if they did not go forward with the fight. Needless to say, Ward said, well, we got to fight, then we got to fight. You know, that's it. That's all that can be said about it. Dirrell found a way out, got a doctor to medically clear him to be taken out of the Super 6. So that didn't happen. Then you had the fact that Mikkel Kessler was stripped after his mysterious eye injury. And then after that, I'm sorry for that, folks. After this, we had to endure with Mikkel Kessler getting over on the boxing world. And this fake eye injury, when he got a doctor to play ball and got out because he didn't want to face his own label mate and Arthur Abel. They'd already suffered a lot of losses, the Soloway camp, so they got him out. So the WBC ended up stripping him. Ward got that title by winning Super 6. He was supposed to fight the number one contender at that time, who was his mandatory that he was supposed to fight, was just Andre Dirrell. For reasons being that didn't materialize, Ward didn't want to stay on Showtime and wanted to go to HBO to secure a deal instead of staying with Showtime to fight Lucian Bute. He felt Lucian Bute should fight some people in the Super 6 to build himself up so they could have a mega fight on Ward's terms. This infuriated Ken Hershman and Showtime as Andre Ward heads over to HBO. Now, he goes to HBO. Ken Hershman ends up going to HBO. He has one fight. The WBC cleared him to fight a fighter, another WBC champion, light heavyweight champion, Chad Dawson. They allowed that title fight to take place. And Mr. I don't get any breaks. They gave him a break and said, okay, we will approve this fight for you. But after this, you have to fight your mandatory. Fine, not a problem. He fought that fight, won the fight, even though he didn't want to agree to do the fight at 170 after the WBC said they had no problem letting him defend his title at 170 pounds. He said, his team said, no, 168 or there is no fight. Depends on who you talk to. Ward people say that conversation never happened. So be it. But after that fight, Andre Ward decides that he wants to challenge Joe Calzaghe who's been retired for 5 years back into the ring, and he's in his 40s. And they're like, wait a minute, you got a mandatory coming up. You're supposed to fight a mandatory. This is what you're supposed to do. And he's looking like, well, I want to fight this guy. Then he goes and gets a MRI, and he finds out he got a tear in his shoulder, and he got to get it repaired. And then the WBC was like, all right, whatever. So he goes ahead and gets this surgery done. Then they said, okay, we need the medical records. They sent them the medical records, from what I was told. They were sent medical records, and then they stopped sending medical records about rehabilitation and everything else. And WBC's, like, you know what? You're stripped. And we'll just make you the interim's title, and then, when you come back, then you'll fight the #1 contender. This didn't fit into Ward's plans. He wasn't happy about it, so he abandoned the WBC status. But this is a guy who was given breaks. And everybody's saying give him a break. He's had breaks. All this means is Andre Ward has had breaks. Now, my thing is, y'all want to give him some more. Meanwhile, Sergey Kovalev, Adonis Stevenson, Lucian Bute, Carl Froch, Edwin Rodriguez. There's a couple more people out there that can give Ward a great fight. That's all we asking for, is we want to see those fights. Not once did I mention Chavez Jr. in that list. And he shouldn't be. We out.